Michelle, did you hear the results of the election about the change in time in Alberta? I thought the vote was to be whether you went to daylight saving time.
I missed it. Actually, I'm going to have to look into that now, Ken. I missed it. I was curious about it.
Oh, okay. So you're aware of it. I didn't see anything on it today,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I haven't looked too hard.
Yeah. So I don't know the outcome of it, but thanks. You are in tune all the way out in Ontario.
I have to leave. I have to leave early today. Another meeting on the same topic.
Oh, good. Good. All right, so we just had Melissa joining us as well. So I'm just going to wait for her to connect to audio. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. We are so honored you're here. It is a gorgeous day, although Miranda said there's a little bit of wind out there. It's a gorgeous day in Amiskwaciy, Waskahiga, Treaty 6 territory here in Edmonton. I hope wherever you are, that you see some of that fall beauty around you. So thanks for joining Cando Links to Learning this afternoon. We're here every Tuesday we cover all sorts of topics, and today is one of my favorites. So I'm really excited. It's on health and wellness in the workplace. So important. So I'm really excited to introduce Miranda in a moment. So there is an opportunity for you to win. There's 2 $100 Visa gift cards, and there's 5 guests this afternoon. So y'all have a pretty good chance of winning. So all you have to do to enter your name is to fill out that evaluation link that the ladies are going to send to you after today's presentation. We really think your voice is important, and we love to hear your feedback. So fill out that evaluation link and your name will be entered to win one of two $100 Visa gift cards. All right, so there will be opportunity at the end for any question answers. I love this virtual community so that we can also lend our story, our experiences also to today's topic. So we'd love to hear you, but at the same time, there's no pressure. Maybe some of us are just here just to take in this knowledge and just to listen and to learn. And just, I'm one of those people who I like to let things simmer. Like I just need to sit with that knowledge and just kind of let it steep. So that might be you. So not necessary for you to lend your voice necessarily, but we would love, I just want to say we would love to hear from you. All right, so today we have Miranda. She's also joining, and I haven't met her, and we both live in Edmonton. So she's joining us from Edmonton, but she is from Little Pine First Nation in Saskatchewan. I just stuttered. I also am from Saskatchewan, so I'm a big fan of Saskatchewan. Her Cree name is Asine Ape Esqueo, and I apologize if I didn't pronounce that properly. It means a woman who sits with the rocks. What a beautiful name. So Miranda, she attended the University of Saskatchewan, holds a Bachelor of Commerce degree in Human Resource Management. She has over 20 years of combined experience in social work, human resources, project management, and her upbeat attitude, great communication skills, and extensive background in handling complex issues makes her a valuable resource for First Nations communities. She is highly experienced motivational speaker, HR advisor, trainer, and life skills coach. She's passionate about helping First Nations youth become independent, resourceful, and contributing members of their community. As an educator, Miranda uses both traditional and contemporary teaching methods, along with personal experiences as self-reflection. I love that, to assist youth in achieving their goals. She also has led various HR initiatives during her career, and she's results-driven, focused HR professional with a strong understanding of First Nation businesses, their priorities, and their challenges. She believes in people and their potential and encourages others to develop personally and professionally in their careers, to change attitudes, workplaces, and even nations. So she currently serves as the Vice President of Okimaw Community and HR Solutions, which is a consulting firm that helps First Nations build strong and thriving communities. So today, she's going to talk about health and wellness at work, which is so, so vital. I love that she says a healthy employee is a happy and productive employee. And that is the goal for every organization. So through our Health and Wellness at Work program, your participants will experience the benefits of a healthier lifestyle and workplace. Also will be instrumental in creating a culture of wellness within your organization. So she's just going to talk all about her program, what she has to offer. She's going to inspire us. She's going to motivate us. So I'm so honored that you are here. And I'm going to pass this virtual mic over to you, Miranda.
Oh, thank you. Well, that was a really nice introduction. Thank you for that. I just quickly want to go around the room. Let me know where you're coming from and your role in an organization. If you're a student, let me know. I just want to hear who's out there and how to, it helps me gauge how I want to present myself, okay, to the public. So I see Ken. Ken, you can start.
Yes, I work for Canada Post. I'm a purchasing agent or a buyer, and my role is to recruit Indigenous transportation contractors for Canada Post across Canada, strictly Indigenous, and I'm doing my best to do that. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, nothing too much is going to happen until the pandemic's over, which hopefully February, March.
Okay, thank you. Annie?
Hello, I'm Annie Charles. I am the Economic Development Relationship Consultant at FHQ Developments in Regina, Saskatchewan. And my role with them is to help the 11 nations that we serve in Treaty 4 under the File Hills Qu'Appelle Tribal Council.
All right, thank you. Shannon?
Hi, I'm Shannon Smith. I'm the business analyst for Stalo Community Futures, and I work with entrepreneurs or any business that is at least 51% Indigenous owned and controlled. So we work with entrepreneurs in all facets of what they do, and a lot of it is their own wellness because entrepreneurs get burnt out, they spend a lot of hours. So anytime I can gather some information that I might be able to share with them, I'm here. So I'm really excited about this.
Thank you. Melissa?
Oh, hi there, Melissa Matthias. Sorry, I was trying to get my video up, but it's not. I'm on a different monitor. I'm with the Kamloops Indian Band. I'm Land's leasing officer.
Okay, lands leasing. Okay, and then is there Amber? I think I saw an Amber.
Hello. Hi, everybody. My name is Amber Sangways. I am a band counselor from the Zagame Anishinaabeg Nation. We're formerly known as Sakame First Nation. So we went through a name change and we're located in Saskatchewan.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, just give me a minute here. I'm going to share my screen. So you guys let me know if you can see my PowerPoint presentation. Is it good?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So like Michelle was saying, I work for Okimaw Community and HR Solutions. So Okimaw is a Cree language word that means chief, leader, boss, and it's defined as someone who oversees the work of others. We chose this name because we believe our mission is to help leaders build strong and thriving communities. So that's how we came up with the name. We're fairly new. We're only 3 years old, but we're 25 consultants strong. So we have a number of consultants that work for us, and each of us brings a different skill set. And of course, we're always adding to it because, you know, we work with all the First Nations throughout Canada. So So sometimes the work can be heavy and challenging. So we recruit, new members to come in and help with us, with different projects. So today we're going to talk about health and wellness at work. Okay, so here we go. So our workshop objectives are these: to plan a health and wellness program is one. How to implement a health and wellness program in your community or workplace, and also how to maintain a health and wellness program. So that's really what we're talking about today. So what the definition of a health and wellness program? Understanding the meaning of health and wellness is the first step in effectively creating one. Every year, companies spend massive amounts of money on health-related issues that could be avoided. A health and wellness program can help alleviate some of these expenses. So I'm sure you agree that especially in our community, a lot of our people are dealing with health issues, mental health, especially during these COVID times. And so it's important to have health and wellness programs in your community. So having employees who are happy and healthy is important in a company. Employees who are happy are more productive and they stay employed longer with the company. Having a health and wellness program to help those employees stay healthy helps you as an employer and the employee. Understanding the meaning of health and wellness program is the first step, okay? So what is a health and wellness program? When your employees are happy and healthy, they cost your company less money in health expenses and have better lives in general. According to a study done by the National Coalition in Healthcare in 2006, employer insurance premiums increased 7.7%, twice the rate of inflation. So what exactly is a health and wellness program? A health and wellness program is a corporate program that is implemented to enhance physical or mental health. There are many types of health and wellness programs and many benefits depending on the program. They can help reduce health insurance costs, safety incidents, and even absenteeism, because we know we deal with that in the workplaces, right? According to the National Safety Council, nearly 1 million workers a day are absent due to stress, costing companies nearly billions a year in loss of productivity and the cost of temporary help. So this is what you need to do to help, your staff, right? Help your people. So let's look at the cost of healthcare. Healthier employees is the most basic goal of a health and wellness program. Having healthier employees means less cost for doctor's visits, prescription drugs, and hospital visits. Healthcare benefits are one of the most costly expenses for a company. So according to CNN, and I think we're familiar with them, on average, employers last year contributed over $10,000 each employee family coverage premiums. It costs the company more to insure employees who have health issues like diabetes, high blood pressure, and those who smoke. A health and wellness program that aids in lessening preventative conditions can reduce healthcare costs for both the employee and the company. So the cost of healthcare now is getting pretty expensive, don't you think? Especially in our group, like the First Nations group. Like a lot of us have health problems, diabetes, high blood pressure. Like you talk to people when you're networking, I find 9 times out of 10 people have diabetes or high blood pressure or arthritis, right? Those are the most common health issues that are out there. So So the basic goal of health and wellness is developing a program, having healthier employees, and eventually lowering insurance premiums when you're paying into those in a workplace, right? So what is the cost of absenteeism? Absenteeism is a huge expense for companies today. And I work in HR, so I've seen this day in and day out. When people are absent from work, depending how long you've worked there, the employer still has to pay for you the days that you miss, because there's sick days, vacation, well, of course there's vacation days, but you're entitled to those. You should be taking them. But there's every day somebody's saying, they can't come to work, right? Absenteeism refers primarily to an unscheduled absence of an employee. So sometimes they just don't let you know that they're going to be missing work. They just call in and they're not going to be there, right? An employee's absence is not just for playing hooky. It can be for justifiable reasons like illness or injuries. So those things can happen, but a lot of times we notice people are, playing hooky, but not a whole lot, but it does happen. Productivity declines when employees are absent from their positions. A healthy employee is less likely to get sick and less likely to call in if they're healthy. When an employee is absent, morale and productivity decreases and costs tend to increase, right? An employee who is away from their position is usually replaced with another employee or a temporary employee. If the replacement employee needs to be trained, the productivity is either lessened or it comes to a stop. If it's a current employee who is replacing the absent employee, he or she may gain overtime because of the extra shift. Even that can happen, right? The company may also have to pay for the absent employee during that time, right? So there's different ways employers have to incur costs when people are absent. And a lot of times when people are absent is because they're sick or other, right? So I'm just kind of referring to that. So when you're healthy, the statistics say that you're less likely to miss work. So types of health and wellness programs. On average, an employee spends a third of the day at work, which is a lot of time. With all of the time we spend at work, health and wellness programs give the company a unique opportunity to enrich the lives of its employees by promoting good health. There are many different types of health and wellness programs that a company can adopt. You will need to evaluate each program that are needed for your company in order to optimize the best results. So there's different ones, and there's a few of them, right? There's different wellness programs that you can develop. You just have to know what's available and who, and like Michelle, she was just telling me that she's a wellness coach, right? So that could be someone you could utilize in your organization and say, hey, maybe we need a wellness coach in our community or in our organization. Let's call her in and see what she can do to help our employees feel more motivated and happy at work, right? That's an example. Okay, so let's look at health behaviors. One of the primary health and wellness program types focuses on health behaviors. Health behaviors are the actions of a single person or group of people to modify or preserve their health status in order to avoid injury or illness. A health behavior could be something as simple as deciding to go for a walk every day, or something as complex as getting treatment for a substance abuse problem, right? It could be from one end to another, everybody's different. The 4 most common health behavior problems are increasing physical activity, nutrition and weight loss, and then there's also tobacco cessation, substance abuse treatment. Those are the most common, right? Those are the most common health behavior problems in a workplace. Agree? Okay, next. So health screenings and maintenance is another thing that we could consider in the workplace. Health screenings and maintenance are an integral part of health and wellness in a health and wellness program. Health screenings are tests that detect diseases or conditions prior to the presentation of symptoms. These types of screenings could be for something as common as high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer. Offering employees a free screening helps both the employee and the company by identifying these diseases and conditions before they become fatal. So some people are already adopting these things, right, in the workplace. It just depends how organized you are or how big your organization is and how much money you have, to help your and the type of setting, right? We have discussed health screenings. Now let's go to maintenance. Okay, maintenance refers to checkups, physical exams, and immunizations, even COVID tests, right? Offer a yearly physical or checkup is a great preventative measure that aids in wellness. Having a yearly exam allows you to gain some familiarity with your physician and them to your health needs. In these visits, he can potentially identify conditions that have not yet presented themselves via symptoms. So we do know, even I know that men are more likely not to have doctor visits, right? For us women, it's like a requirement, especially at a certain age, you have to go for those yearly exams, sometimes twice a year. So as you age, you're going to see that you're going to have to do more checkups the older you get, but it's a good idea to get a yearly physical. And I encourage a lot of our men, to go and have their physical exams, get their immunization shots done. All these things can help you with your overall physical health. And I know people work hard, right? I know there's people that work hard and sometimes they neglect to go and get a physical checkup, but it's important to take that time to look after yourself too. Okay, so let's look at mental health. Mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Mental health programs can help with stress management, grieving employees, and employees who need a support system. So sometimes mental health isn't about, like schizophrenia or, post-traumatic stress. Those are part of it, right? But mental health could be about your grieving. If you don't get help for your grieving, it ends up escalating and it worsens if you don't get your mental health in check, right? So that's when people start feeling suicidal, hopeless, depression really starts to sink in. So you really have to look after your mental health, and smudging, praying really helps with that, right? When you're feeling defeated or lost in your life, it's always good to pray, and whatever your concerns are, whatever they are, leave it to God and trust that God is going to take care of those. That's what I believe. God, creator, whatever you call him, right? But I believe in that. Everybody believes in something, right? That's how you get through really challenging times. So depression is a leading cause for absenteeism and reduced productivity. Employees who are depressed are less engaged and do not put in the effort that a happy employee would. Keeping your employees happy and healthy benefits your organization, right? You have to have that support system, find out who are your supports, who can you count on. If it's not family, is it a friend? Is it actually going and getting professional help to help you deal with those challenges day to day? Don't be afraid, don't be shy, don't, if you need that help, you go out and you get that support. Having belonging to some support group helps as well. There's women's wellness groups, there's men's wellness group, and you'll find supports there. You'll meet people, you'll meet friends if you're not comfortable doing that on your own. There's stress management tools you will learn and develop as over time. And so mental health is very, very important, for all of us, right? Because some of our jobs, can be really heavy, and you never know what somebody is going through in their lives because of, the amount of responsibility they have at work, right? So your bosses too have a heavy load. There are many different programs you can utilize to promote the health and wellness of your employees. So health behavior programs are one of them. There are many different programs you can utilize to promote the health and wellness of your employees. And this is one of them, okay? So let's look at increasing physical activity. So what does that look like? So if you're an employer and you have employees and you're feeling, well, we should implement some kind of health and wellness program. So what does that look like? You could, I could recommend maybe discounted gym memberships. I know if you work for the casino, I know they have purchase gym memberships for their employees, at least discounted ones, right? You can sponsor an employee athletic team, right? So if you have an employee who plays sports, right? Maybe you could think of sponsoring their team or that person if they like to play volleyball or something like that. You could think of sponsoring a team or an employee, offer incentives to use the stairs, right? So think of ways how employees could use the stairs instead of the elevator if you have elevators in your building. That's a good incentive. Nutrition and weight loss. Now, this is a big one, right? So obesity is a huge problem in Canada and a hot button issue. According to the health statistics, more than 1/3 of Canadians are obese, and particularly evident in the Indigenous population, right? An estimated annual medical cost of obesity in Canada is over $100 billion, according to the 2008 statistics. The average cost for an obese person is over $1,400, higher than the cost for a person of normal weight. Implementing a weight loss program or a nutrition program helps the company save money and the employee live longer. Not only would it positively affect the employee's life, but their families as well. So have a healthy food vending machine if you have vending machines in your building, or offer healthy options in the vending machine, right? Offer free fruit in the break room, put some apples in there and encourage them to have one, maybe, it doesn't have to be the boss. You can do that as well. Offer discounts on healthy options in the cafeteria if there's one, or if you're going to school, instead of going to A&W, That's just one that I know of in a university that exists. You can go somewhere else and eat something healthy, right? Have a healthy potluck. So if you're having a potluck at work, suggest healthy options, right? Have a contest for healthy recipes. That's another good one. Offer a healthy cooking demonstration. Maybe people can take, you can have different employees, bringing their favorite food or snack and prepare it and show people what a healthy food item looks like, right? Have a weight loss support group or even a contest. Encourage people to have breakfast, maybe bring breakfast fruit, those bars, bring them. Provide information on vitamins. I know people who like to talk about, herbs and vitamins that are good for you. Maybe you suggest bringing them to your workplace during noon hour, right? Do a lunch and learn. Put food pyramid charts or a plate food guide in break areas, right? That's another one. Have water coolers in the office to promote drinking water. Offer educational materials related to nutrition. Have an area where employees can weigh themselves, right? That's a good one. Have employees submit recipes for a company cookbook, right? Those are really good ideas. Those are some things you could do to start eating healthy and supporting one another. So now let's look at tobacco cessation. So smoking, right? So many people die each year because of tobacco related illnesses. For many people who are using tobacco, they may feel like quitting would be so hard. A lot of them say, I've tried so many times to quit smoking and I just can't do it. So offering an incentive and support could be the push they need to take the leap into quitting. In Canada today, the most typical form of chemical dependence is nicotine. The nicotine is what makes quitting such a complicated task. People with nicotine withdrawal can have cravings. They can be irritable. They can gain weight, have anxiety, depression, trouble sleeping. Maybe they're restless. They're getting headaches and problems concentrating. These are things that happen to people when they try to quit smoking. As bad as those symptoms are, the effects of tobacco use could be much worse. Tobacco use could contribute to the following illnesses. So what happens when people smoke too much, right? Stroke can happen, heart disease, increased blood pressure, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. It's when they cough and they have a really hard time breathing, and because they're just constantly coughing. Cancer, pregnancy and birth risks, reduced fertility in males, reduced bone health, reduced tooth and gum health. You can get type 2 diabetes, reduced immune system, cause rheumatoid arthritis. I didn't know that, but it's there. Tobacco cessation programs are beneficial to the company and the employee. Having happy and healthy employees help productivity and engagement. Knowing that your company cares about your well-being makes the employee feel like they are important, and they are. Here are a few tobacco cessation program ideas, okay? So offer free nicotine gum or patches to your employees. Offer cessation medications prescribed by a medical doctor, right? Maybe you could suggest that, reduce cost of health insurance for non-smoking employees, reduce costs of health insurance for nicotine-free employees, because you know your employer can negotiate these things with your with the people who supply your benefits. Your employer does have that, you know, ability to change how your benefits are, you know, how you pay into them. They do that. Provide access to tobacco cessation programs and support groups on the job site if possible. Maybe you can have them come, you know, in noon hour, you know, offer small rewards for employees who commit to quit smoking, you know, offer additional rewards, you know, at their 6 or 12-month anniversary. So things like that, those are just some ideas to put out there. And you can do that in your own community, right? You can do that. It doesn't even have to be at work. It could be right in your community. You can do these programs. So let's look at substance abuse treatment. Substance abuse is a huge black hole which most people can't dig their way out of alone. It's hard, you know, some of them really struggle with this. And a lot of times they can't do it by themselves, right? Substance abuse can develop from many different factors, which could be emotional, mental, or physical, right? There are 3 major types of substance abuse, and that's alcohol, illegal drugs, and prescription drugs. Those are the 3 major types of abuses. The most commonly abused and easiest to obtain substance is alcohol. So according to research, 19.2 million workers reported using alcohol at work or being impaired by alcohol at work at least once in 2008. So people keep stats, people are interviewed, so they do report that they, you know, have used alcohol at work or, you know, while they're driving a company vehicle or machinery. You know, so there are stats. Alcohol is dangerous because it is easily accessible and inexpensive. You know, some of them, depending what you're buying, could be, you know, inexpensive for most people. Illegal drugs are a rising problem. They range anywhere from marijuana to cocaine, and now have worsened to meth, crack, and other harmful street drugs, right? These drugs are highly addictive and have a wealth of negative mental and physical health effects. Prescription drug use is as negative and illegal drug, right? People who abuse prescription drugs can obtain their drugs legally or illegally. Some patients will go to multiple doctors faking illnesses to get prescriptions for a multitude of drugs. Some patients steal their prescriptions from friends or family members, and some buy them from drug dealers. Illegal drugs and prescription drugs not only put the health of the user in danger, but also their safety. Drug addiction can develop from many scenarios. Sometimes a person gets injured and has to take medications to alleviate the pain, which they then become addicted to. Sometimes the user has trauma, right, or mental illness that facilitates that addiction. So you have to get to know your employees. There are many reasons why someone may become addicted to substance, and usually it is very difficult for them to kick the habit. Needless to say, drug and alcohol addiction can cause a lot of problems for the user, their family, and the places they work. Drug and alcohol use can affect the company in the following ways. Increases the cost of their health care. So if they're paying into their health care premiums at work, in the long run, the employer's it's gonna cost the employer a lot of money, because if you're not aware of your staff, you need to help them, right? So send them to treatment as early as you can, and I know they have to agree to it, but that's another avenue to explore and talk about. It reduces productivity, increases absenteeism, reduces morale, inflates the risk of on-the-job accidents, right? Because you don't want people driving your machinery out there, and because there's a risk of people getting hurt. Increases employee turnover. So employees are the most important asset to your company. A company cannot run without them, and therefore their health and well-being is a critical part of the success of the company. Offering a program that could enrich their lives not only helps the employee, but the company's bottom line. So offering your employees help when you know that they're going through, life crisis is also another thing you'll have to consider at some point. Okay, so let's talk about health screenings and maintenance programs. Having health screenings and maintenance programs for your employees can really boost their awareness about potential harmful conditions. These programs can also assist in early detection, prevent conditionings from worsening, and possibly preventing them altogether. Catching these conditions early help the patient, but it also lowers the healthcare claim cost to the company. So, right, like if we're talking about different workplaces, some have this, some don't. It just depends on the industry that you're working for. But these are things that other industries have implemented for their staff. And it's just something I felt, we could talk about here as well, right? So what about preventative care screenings, right? Too many people in this country die because they are unaware that they have common health issues. Many people die early from cardiac related issues that could have been detected and treated easily by a physician. Offering preventative healthcare screenings can help save the lives of your employees, thus saving you from the costs of having to find replacement employees for them. A health screening is a test that helps patients identify possible conditions before the symptoms prevent themselves. There are many different types of screenings you can offer. Some are life-saving and some aren't as serious. However, all of them will better the lives of your employees. Here are a few. Okay, there's a general health risk assessment. There's a dental health assessment. You can go and get a diabetes health check, to see if, you have it, because some people do get sick at work and you never know what they are. So these are just some recommendations that you can give them, because sometimes people don't know. Or they don't follow up unless somebody says, you know what, you should go and get this done, because I know so and so this happened, and your symptoms sound familiar, right? Glucose testings, hearing testing, blood pressure tests. There's cholesterol tests. Get an eye exam, BMI testing, bone density testing, posture screening, spinal analysis. There's so many different things that you can get done, that you can prevent from your health getting worse. Go get these things done, get your screens done, so that it can prevent your health from deteriorating in the long run. Okay. So annual examinations, I'm hoping everybody at least goes and gets that done, right? Okay, maintenance programs. Okay, early detection is important in health and well-being, but maintaining the conditions that you currently have is equally important. So what is a maintenance program? A maintenance program is a health program that promotes treatment or prevention for common conditions. These conditions could be having mild flu-like symptoms or getting your immunizations, as well as type 2 diabetes screenings and high blood pressure checks, etc. Like there's a lot I just mentioned earlier. According to the Canadian Diabetes Association, over 5,000 people per day are diagnosed with diabetes. That is a large amount of our population that is finding out each day that they have a condition that could possibly be fatal if not treated. The CDA, and we said the Canadian Diabetes Association, that's what it stands for, also states that over 71,000 people die each year from diabetes, and over 230,000 die each year due to health complications that diabetes contribute to. Encouraging your staff to take care of these conditions helps boost productivity and morale and decrease absenteeism. I can't stress enough that happy and healthy employees create happy customers or clients. Keeping your employees in a positive health state boosts your company's bottom line and the company's image. Not to mention, makes you feel great about taking care of your employees. So what types of issues could you consider focusing on? Well, some people suffer back pain, if they're always on the computer, sitting on a desk. People can say, well, my neck or back, hurts. Having immunization and flu shots could be another. Some people get sick often, and consider having your immunizations up to date and flu shots, especially if you're elderly, right? That's recommended. Asthma, diabetes, blood pressure, and cholesterol, depression, these are all the types of issues that you could focus on at work. Cancer, obesity, hypertension. So these pretty much are the issues people will come to you with, right? So take a look at all of these issues when you're thinking about developing a maintenance program, right? So mental health programs. Mental disorders are becoming more prominent in the world today. As a nation, we have finally started to recognize mental conditions as more than character flaws, but the stigma still remains for many people. Like in physical health, mental health can decline rapidly if not treated properly. So mental health programs. So that's another one to look at. So when people have mood swings, things are very irritable, a lot of times we label them and say, boy, that person has a bad attitude, or I just don't like working with them, but we don't know, what they're going through. You gotta sit down, talk with them, and see if their mental health is at check, because you never know really what it is. Okay. Also, stress can make people feel irritable and moody, and one day they're happy and the other day they're not. Okay. Stress is something we are all familiar with. It is very normal. We deal with it on a daily basis. A little stress is great, It helps us be more productive, but too much is dangerous. So what is the definition of stress? So if you look at the Webster's dictionary, it's defined as a state of mental tension and worry caused by problems in your life, work, etc., or something that causes strong feelings of worry or anxiety. Excessive stress can cause heart disease, depression, and even death, right? People feel suicidal when they're just too overwhelmed in dealing with stress. Stress can come from daily life, financial strain, right? If you're struggling with getting hours for work to pay your bills, a lot of stress can come from home, right? Heavy workload or personal issues. Maybe you're having relationship issues, that can cause a lot of stress at home and at work. Being stressed can make you feel overwhelmed, and many aren't able to deal with this stress properly, right? So unhealthy ways of dealing with stress are ignoring the stress altogether, smoking, drinking alcohol in excess, or using drugs to forget about what you're dealing with, over or under eating, withdrawal from society, not wanting to talk to your family or friends, just that's not healthy either. Excessive sleeping or not sleeping enough, overextending yourself with activities that just going to create more stress, and then lashing out at others. So you're going to have more people upset with you because you're lashing out. So what are the healthy ways of dealing with stress? So exercise, right? Going for a walk. If you're stressed, get outdoors and go for a walk. That really helps. Spending time with friends or family. Go for coffee, go for have a lunch date, go to a movie, do things with your family or friends, or invite them over for supper. Spending time with a pet. Maybe you have pets. Some of you may or may not have pets, but pets can help you when you're dealing with stress. They really do. We have a pet chihuahua. Listen to music. A lot of people like to listen to music. Like a lot of people like to sing. They like to pound the drum and they sing, and that helps them deal with their stress. Relaxing, having a nice bubble bath, listening to soft music, maybe watching a movie. That's relaxing. Meditating, smudging, praying, that helps. Writing in a diary, journaling, right? People like to write, when they're stressed. Writing helps, or even painting pictures, pretty pictures, sunsets, butterflies, flowers, things like that, right? So those are some of the things you can do to reduce stress. Now, counseling. Sometimes having a one-on-one conversation with a licensed professional is the best way to resolve some of the emotional strain you may have in your life. So if you look at the Webster's dictionary, defines counseling as professional guidance of the individual by utilizing psychological methods, especially in collecting case history data, using various techniques of the personal interview and testing interests and aptitudes. A counselor or therapist works one-on-one with a person to help them resolve the cause of the issue they are having. Therapists, counselors work to give the patients the tools they need to move past whatever issues they are seeking help for. And some of them can be pretty serious, and they don't want anybody to know what they're going through or what happened to them. So getting a professional to help you through that can help you get rid of some of those blocks, mental blocks, right? The goal is to help the patient resolve their issues so that they can move on and live a happy life. Sometimes in life, things happen that we don't know how to handle, and sometimes we react to things because of underlying issues we are not aware of. An employee who is struggling at work may not know that they need some guidance. Giving them the options to talk to a professional and work out some of those hindrances can be very positive. Even grief, right? Grieving takes time. And if you're grieving and you don't know how to channel your energies, then I encourage you to take a grief and loss training. That's another topic altogether, but that also, plays a part in the workplace. So you got to pay attention to your staff. What are they going through? How can you help them? Because each of them is different and unique. So awareness and education is another one. It used to be that mental illness was a taboo topic, right? Nobody wanted to talk about those things. If you were diagnosed, you were just treated like you were crazy. Medical professionals now acknowledge that mental illness are true illnesses. These days, people are more understanding of mental illnesses, but there is still a negative stigma that lingers. Most people who have not personally been affected by mental illnesses do not know a lot about them. A lot of it is we're not educated about them. The truth is we all at some point or another have poor mental health, either due to stress or situational issues. We have all at some point had depression or anxiety, and that does not make us crazy. It makes us normal human beings. Some people have more constant and chronic conditions, but they're still human, right? Providing awareness and education about these issues will help all of your employees, even those not suffering. Awareness and education help those who are suffering from a mental illness recognize their symptoms. So even having these at work can help people that don't understand, or it might be just like you might be able to help them and they might have this aha moment because you've talked about it. And it's like, hey, nobody ever told me about this. Oh my God, I'm so glad I listened to this person tell me. Now I know what's wrong, right? And possibly acknowledge that they need help. It also helps other employees recognize symptoms, right? And may give them more understanding for other employees. So that's mental health awareness and education. You consider doing that at work as well. So now by this time, now you've gained a little more knowledge on many options for health and wellness in your workplaces. So I hope you are excited by the different ways you can help your employees and the company. There are still a few more things that we need to be straightened out before we start the design of your health and wellness program. Finding out for sure what the need is in your company will help the future program that you are trying to implement to grow and thrive, right? So you have to get to know your workplace. So if you are that person who wants to implement health and wellness in the workplace, consider doing the things that I've just talked about. And it's going to help a lot of people, and it'll help you too, right? Help you learn how to work with all your people in your company, especially if you're recruiting people, because I know one of you said you wanted to recruit some good candidates. Well, these are good tools to think about, right? So how can you effectively create a new wellness program if you don't know what the former or current program is? If your company has a current or used to have a wellness program, reviewing it is important. So at this stage, you want to try to determine what aspects of it were effective, and thus what aspects of it were ineffective. It would be a waste of effort to build a new wellness program that is identical to the previous one that failed. If your company doesn't currently have a program, then the task is basically done. Okay. So there are more diseases and conditions out there than any person can count. Some illnesses are genetic, some are environmental or age-related. The ability to identify common health conditions and procedures helps you gauge what types of programs you want to offer. This is divided in two sections: common health conditions and common procedures. The first, common health conditions, which can be obtained by the diagnosis codes on the health insurance claims. So if you work with someone who knows about the your company's health insurance plan, that could be a start, right? So where do they mostly help your employees, right? So is it grief? Is it health related issues? Is it workplace accidents? Like that could be a start, right? Noticing that a common health condition is in your facility, such as obesity could be another example, can help you determine that maybe a weight loss program is necessary. Some of the most common health conditions include, so some people have arthritis, asthma, some are probably undergoing cancer treatments or just finished the treatments, chronic obstructive pulmonary COPD. Maybe you have staff that have that. Definitely there's probably someone who has diabetes, eating disorders, heart disease, poor oral health, things like that. The second aspect is identifying common procedures. You will also use the insurance claims, to review, how your statistics look. Identify the common procedures can help you formulate a plan to reduce them. Noticing that the majority of people are having echocardiograms and open heart surgery, maybe, indicated that you need to offer programs that focus on heart health, right? These programs may help you reduce healthcare costs by preventing conditions or managing them before they result in more costly procedures, okay? Those are just some ideas if you're really gung-ho into forming up some sort of health plan, preventative health program, right? So another area that will need reviewing is company employee health information. To complete this process, you will need to get access to the employee absenteeism incident records. So what are you looking for in this information? When looking at absenteeism, it is important to find out why they were absent from work. Finding out that a large number of people are absent because of having the flu may mean that flu shots should be part of your new wellness program. Also, looking at workplace incidents can help you access where the problems areas are in your company. Noticing that a particular department has more back injuries could mean that the policies for lifting aren't being implemented or need to be updated. Understanding what your company issues are for absenteeism and injuries can provide the roadmap to an effective health and wellness program. So at this point, you should have a good understanding of the types of programs you want to implement and what they are. You have done your research and you see what you need to factor into your plan. Now it is time to get started with creating the program. A well-planned program could be the determining factor between success and failure. A great health and wellness plan can increase productivity and morale, but a poor one can decrease them, okay? So when you are creating a company-wide program, it is important to include the company. Having input from the employees makes the program more accessible and is a way for you to make sure it is something that every employee can relate to. A health and wellness team or committee is a group of diverse representatives from within the company that assist in the creation of the health and wellness plan. Now, some of you may be in a committee, some of you may not be, or maybe some of you are thinking of creating one. When you create your committee, you want to make sure that you get a broad network of employees, right? So your committee should consist of different members or different people from a department. When selecting the committee, you want to include regular employees and senior management should be involved. So for example, you could have your human resource personnel there. You could have maybe the employee nurse or maybe the, like if you're working for a First Nation, it could be someone who works in the health field, right? There's different people in the health department, so you could have someone there. If you're working for a union, a place where there's union, then you may want a rep from there. You know, maybe you have someone, a lawyer, or you know, you could have a legal rep there. You for sure would want an executive or senior management personnel, maybe someone who works in marketing, but definitely you'll need regular employees from different departments, right? So depends how big or small your organization is, you would want to have a health and wellness committee, right? To help you implement these types of programs. So how can you achieve your goals, right? So once your committee has been determined, right, you formed your committee, you will want to collectively define your goals. Hopefully you have done your research and determine what needs are in your company, right? Like we discussed before. Your committee can review the information collected and determine what types of programs are needed to be implemented. Having your goals clearly defined will help you create a blueprint of how to build your health and wellness program. Clearly defined goals are important, but you also need them to be realistic. A realistic goal is a goal that can be attained in a practical fashion. For example, while most of us would like to set a goal of 100% participation in the wellness program, that is unrealistic. A more realistic goal would be 65% or something like that. When setting the goals, here are some things to consider. Who is the goal for? Is it for the whole company, a select demographic of employees, or a specific department? Is this something the employees would be willing to participate in? Like a fitness challenge. Is that something they'd like? You need to get input from the people, right? How can it be implemented? What kind of manpowered resources is it going to take? When should it be implemented? Is this something that can start immediately, or is it during the summer? You know, what is the preferred action or reaction? How can the success rate be measured, right? So these are some things you have to look at. Is there an incentive? You know, is it a monetary incentive? Is it a day off? Or is it a trip to Vegas? You know, things like that, right? So there's gotta be an incentive. And there should be a budget. So you got to consider the material costs. You know, are you outsourcing someone? Like, say you want to bring in Michelle, she's going to be your health and wellness coach. You know, what's she going to charge? How much is that going to cost you guys to bring her in? You know, there's going to be, is there advertising costs? You know, are you going to advertise this, or are you just going to post it internally? And then employee time. So when are you going to implement this? Is this at noon hour or after work, right? Those are things you have to consider. So even programs, when you have a program, there's always policies that you have to abide by at work, right? So it's always best to get the buy-in from management that this program is needed, you know, and for what reasons, what kind of time, what kind of money is going to be needed here. And know that people would be volunteering to join your program, right? But there's also that incentive. So after all of the hard work and research is complete, it's time to implement this program now, right? So you've done everything. So now it's time to just promote it and get it out there. And if it's done right, it could lead to success. According to the National Business Coalition on Health, 75 it reduced premiums by $75 a month. I guess there was a study done, and when people had health and wellness programs in their community or in their workplaces, it actually reduced their premiums, right? So I guess that's a good thing, how, you know, to implement in your workplace. Up to 90% of eligible employees do participate in their programs if they're there. There are still a few more tasks to do than that. The tasks are fairly basic, but very important. Okay, so to have a successful launch, you will need to get management support. Like I said, you need to get approval for them. Then you need to test out your program to see if it's going to work. You need to advertise or promote it within your workplace, and then make sure there's incentives, you know, for them to want to be involved. So management. Hello?
Miranda, just letting you know, we have just a couple of minutes left.
Okay. So management support is crucial. Employees will follow their leaders. So if you're a leader, get them involved, get this health and wellness going, and guaranteed it's going to work, right? So we're just going to move on to, so we did do incentives. Incentives motivate people to do an action. It works. Cash incentives are good, or gift certificates. People do like money, right? So create a culture of wellness. Creating an environment where health is an area of concern can help keep your employees healthy. This type of environment we have named a culture of wellness. A culture of wellness is a collective set of values that is geared towards health. So we'll move on to the next one. We did that already. So then after that, you evaluate your results. Do them quite often to see how they're working. And then employee satisfaction, right? So happy wife, happy life, happy customers make the company happy. You know, poll your employees, you know, do check-ins, see how things are going, encourage them, you know, to get involved, you know, revise your plans if necessary, you know, and you may have to do that to really get your health and wellness program going. And then later you have to share the achievements. People love to be praised. Can be a little tricky because health is a very personal subject. Maybe some people don't like to get, to talk about their weight if it is a weight loss challenge, and get permission from them to share the information, right? So wrapping up, I hope that your journey to health and wellness is improving. Overall, this is what we want from a health and wellness program. And that's it for me. I think I did it.
Ooh, you did do it. So a little round of applause for Miranda. Wow, you covered a lot of ground, which doesn't leave us any time for any questions, unfortunately, but you have left us with so much valuable knowledge and information on how we can implement this culture of wellness within our workplace. And you even said, not even within your workplace, think maybe for your communities and where you're at. But you had covered a lot of ground. I believe this PowerPoint presentation, I believe you're sending it to Elizabeth.
Yes.
And she's going to send it all to you because I feel like there was so much information and I'd love to go back and just take it in. But you walked us step by step by step. So you were very thorough. Thank you so very much for your expertise in this field. Planted some seeds about what we can do in our workplace or within our community. So thank you so much, Miranda. Thank you all for joining us. We're glad you're here. Make sure you get in those evaluations. We'd love to hear your feedback and have a good rest of the day. Take time. The full moon is tomorrow. Take time to spend it with that beautiful, powerful grandmother moon. Take some time to go out to the great outdoors and make those good connections. And so we most of all, just want to give thanks to Creator for the gift of this day, the gift of this beautiful virtual community that we have here at Cando. So take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.
Thank you. See you.